Alright, this is going to be a STSINKS XPD 924D maintenance video. Alright, what are we going to need? We're going to need gloves. We're going to be talking about rail maintenance. Alright, so you're going to need your rail tool. With the rail tool, you're going to need your white lithium grease. We do sell it as well as Muto. We're going to need some swabs, lint-free cloth. Alright, we have a few of them here. And then we have direct-to-film cleaning solution. We're going to need some of that for, you know, the maintenance of the capping station and whatnot. And then we have just some tissues if we need it. Alright. So before we start the maintenance, our printer is in sleep mode right now. You can see that right here on the front screen. So before we wake it up, we're going to go around and we're going to grab our white inks. And now you want to make sure that you're shaking the white inks properly. I like to turn them upside down and shake them for about 2 to 3, sometimes 4 minutes, depending on how long it was sitting there. We do have a device that I'll show you soon that you could use to mix your inks. But ideally, you want to shake it well and thoroughly every time you start the printer. Alright, so we shook the inks, and now we're going to come over here to the front of the printer. It says sleep mode end. We're going to hit enter. Alright. It's going to perform its cleaning, and that's why we always want to make sure to shake the inks before we start this process. Alright, so this is going to be the beginning of CR maintenance. So we're going to hit over here, home. And then as you see menu 1, you're going to scroll down until you see CR maintenance. Hit the right, and then when it says start enter, you're just going to hit enter here. CR maintenance, what is it doing? It's going to move your head from the right side capping station all the way to the left side, allowing you to access the capping station, access the bottom of the head ramps, as well as you just have room to kind of work with underneath the bay here. So alright, we're going to open the cover. You're going to open these panels here. You're going to open the panel to the bottom left as well. Alright, and then you could have this whole workspace to work with. We're going to take a look over here. So you can see over here, we have the capping station, the white head, capping station for the color head. We have the wiper for the color head, the wiper for the white head, and then the spit pad here. Now basically we are going to be cleaning around the capping station. You can see over here that there's, you know, a little bit of buildup, and it could happen over here on the color head as well. And then we're going to wipe down these wiper blades to make sure that they're functioning properly and cleaning the bottom of the head as it kind of, you know, glides across and cleans. And then we're going to check out the wiper blade, or sorry, the spit pad. So let's go over here. I'm going to grab the tools that we're going to need here. So in this case, you're just going to need a swab. Maybe you're going to need one of these, but we're going to go with the cleaning solution as well. I'm going to open the cleaning solution here. I'm just going to dip in my swab. And the idea here is to kind of clean around this. Now you want to make sure that when you're cleaning around this that you don't knock it off orientation. So you always want to make sure it's seated right back where it was. And you can be pretty delicate with it. You see just a little wipe down here cleans off any of the buildup that was there. And usually I'll wipe it down with a napkin afterwards. Alright, so let's see here. Perfect. And it's the same thing for the color one right here. Get around the edges. And you can see kind of gets all over there, and then you're just wiping it down. Just making sure there's no buildup around it so that when the head sits on it, it's flush. Alright, so we cleaned the capping station, and now we're going to clean the wiper blade. So I just got another swab. I dipped it in the cleaning solution. And I'm just getting really in there. Just cleaning off all that stuff here, all the ink, the white ink, and then I'm kind of just rubbing it off, making sure I get everything. So I introduced cleaning solution to it, and then I'm getting it all nice and clean. And occasionally you could just take these out and then, you know, go run it underwater if you'd like to clean it. It's totally up to you which route you want to go. Just make sure that when you put it back, it's in its correct position. So if it's down, or if it's not seated correctly, you want to take it back out and reseat it. Alright. Just clean off some of that white ink and then give it another go. Make sure you get it as clean as possible, because this has a lot to do with the performance of your head. Alright, and then you'll do the same thing here for the black one. So now we have the spit pad here. You could kind of just pop this off. You could run it under cool water and kind of get it as clean as you can, and then just make sure when you're putting it back, you're placing it correctly. So you put in the end first, and then you kind of just push it down and make sure it's completely seated. And then we could go over here. So we're still in CR maintenance, and we could continue cleaning. So what are we looking for over here? So I don't know if you could see it exactly, but if you look under here, you'll see that there's kind of a white buildup, and then, you know, kind of color buildup around these ramps. So basically we want to clean that here. Let me grab some more cleaning solution. Alright, so we got our swab. It doesn't have to be a swab for this one, but I like to use it because I can kind of aim it better. And then you want to just clean these ramps, clean around. You never want to touch the bottom of the head, but all the way around otherwise you do. So let's see here. And you're just getting rid of any sort of buildup on the bottom. And then I like to take like a napkin or a lint-free cloth and make sure I'm getting rid of the residue that is building up. That way when you're printing, you don't run into anything. Alright, and now we're going to talk about the encoder. Okay, so the encoder is pretty easy. You're going to grab one of your lint-free cloths. Alright, and you usually just use DIY water if it's bad. But otherwise, you'll take the cloth and you're going to kind of throw it over here. You're going to throw it over this encoder here. That's the encoder going along the entire printer. Alright, and you're going to pinch it. You're not going to pinch it hard, you're just going to pinch it and kind of go back. Alright, you make sure you get it, and then forward. And you're just going to go through the whole thing. And you're just getting rid of any dust, particles, TPU powder, any sort of buildup that happens here. And you kind of see that there's plenty of dust on there. And so it's normal that it builds up, but it's good to keep up with it. If you run into any issues with, you know, maybe the prints being off, this could be a contributing factor. And then basically when we end CR maintenance and the head goes back over here, we can kind of finish off and get the rest of that encoder there. But before we do that, we're going to jump into greasing the rails and kind of what that looks like. Okay, so we're about to grease the rails. We need our white lithium and we need our rail cleaning kit. So I'm going to grab a little bit of the lithium. Now you don't want a lot, and you're going to kind of just coat just brush with it. That's one way of doing it. You could also just come to the rail and you could have, you know, some of the lithium here, and what you're basically doing is you want to get behind the rails and under and behind the rail. So We're going to put some lithium back there, and we're going to kind of like just dab a little bit. It's most towards you. Dab a little bit here, dab a little bit there, and then kind of dab a little bit there. And then you want to do the same thing underneath. So that's why usually I'll add it to the brush itself for the underneath, because it just makes it easier on you. And so you'll kind of hook the tool right onto the rail, and you'll just go back and forth multiple times throughout the whole rail. So not only does this clean the rail, but it lubes it up so that the head has smooth transit through the printer. And so you'll want to do this multiple times. It's a little bit of a tight fit, but you'll want to make sure that you're spreading this evenly. All right, and you can see that there's some buildup there, and then you're going to do the same thing. So up top, grease it across, and as you go grease it across, you want to make sure you're getting every portion of this. So you want to make sure it's as clean as possible, and you can see that there's, you know, after a month or two, there's been quite the buildup. So it's good to keep up with this. So with that basically concludes our CR maintenance on what we're going to do here. And then we're going to go over here. We're going to end CR maintenance. It's going to state that the cover is open, and I'm going to go ahead and close that. So you can check over here. I'm going to close both of these, and then I'm going to close the front cover, and it's going to put the head back in its native position, ready to go.